we using in the home. Actually, there are a lot of connection stuff, right? The names of product, but using that one, I think that's the best one in Indonesia. But I don't know, something we cannot predict. Something happened, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, 15 seconds. Salam jumpa pemirsa, bagaimana kabar Anda? Please welcome Nurhan. Apa kabarmu? How are you?
People of Indonesia, and good morning. I've been in Indonesia 2 times before, right?
Do you remember some words of Indonesian language? I think I asked you before about this.
So
Selamat pagi, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I remember, of course, like salam, salamat. So whenever I want to say thank you or I learned a lot, and I was in Bali.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, so I've
Bali.
learned a lot about the culture there. Yeah.
How about the Indonesian food or Indonesian people, you think?
So as I mentioned, I was 2 times in Bali. The first time was in January 2019. The second time in June 2019. So I couldn't get
the same year you've been 2 times because you want to come again. That's why.
Time. So
what kind of food?
Korean one, the tofu with this like special sauce. Like I don't remember the names, but the taste is still
that's
like
a gado-gado maybe. Like all of vegetables, right? The vegetables with the sauce.
The vegetables, the tofu, and those like
the tofu.
Sauce, and by the beach, I tried this. That was so amazing, and the seafood there is, wow, the best seafood I've ever had in my life was in Bali.
Thank you so much. I'm so proud to be Indonesian when heard your explanation about Indonesia. You met
it's like paradise on earth, like especially Bali, the welcoming there, the people, the culture, like relaxing, and you're learning at the same time. It's just fascinating.
Next time you should come to another side like Central Java when I'm living now. And you see another side of Indonesia, right?
Priority for me. That's on top of my list.
Thank you so much. So Nur, this is we knew that maybe almost 8 months or more we are on pandemic situation that people all know that we need to have a social distancing, doing anything in the homes, you know, like studying, praying, anything in home. But is there any updates? How's it going there? And then how people deal with the coronavirus?
Yeah, sure. So as you just mentioned, Putri, it's very important to abide by the like the policies that the government like put for us, like the preventive measures, the precautions. It's very, very important. And sometimes people like start ignoring the fact that the virus is still going on, and I believe that's the right thing to do right now. So talking about coronavirus in Egypt, I want to start with the timeline of coronavirus in Egypt. If we
sure. But I forgot to mention I will use two languages, Indonesia and then English to speak in you. And then I need to sometimes make a conclusion or make the people understand because not all people understand in English, right?
I understand.
I will just explain a short bit. Jadi pemirsa, barusan saya ngobrol sama Nur. Beliau ini adalah mahasiswa yang sangat aktif sekali dan juga orang Mesir yang juga sangat mengetahui dan juga paham betul kita akan ngobrol seperti apa keadaan Mesir di masa pandemi ini dan juga ternyata Nur ini sangat cinta sekali Indonesia. I told them that you love Indonesia.
Yes, of course, definitely.
So let's start the timeline of coronavirus.
Should I go on or you need to
Sure. Yeah, just go on. And then, yeah.
So it was for a Chinese national, as I mentioned. Right after that, Egyptian authorities immediately they reported and notified the WHO, and the patient was isolated at a hospital, and all the persons who came into contact with him were monitored. But they all were like the test for them was negative. So then on March 5th, Egypt confirmed the first coronavirus case of an Egyptian national.
I see, on March. So the first case confirmed on March. I think this is the same thing happens in Indonesia. We also have the first positive case on March. So I will explain to the people here, like jadi pemirsa di Egypt sendiri untuk konfirmasi kasus pertama itu terjadi di bulan Maret, meskipun pada pertengahan Februari mereka sudah melalui banyak uji coba yang dilakukan untuk tes. So let's continue, Nur.
So as I mentioned, so the first Egyptian case was on March 5th, and actually that was in the country because the previous two cases.
I see.
Yeah. So then the curve started. I want to just give you like numbers, and these numbers are reporting daily change in the new cases, and I'm going to just mention the numbers at the end so we can see together, like all together, how the numbers changed. Cases were recorded, and then on April 30th 269 new cases were recorded. So now we are going up from end of March to end of April. So it was going up. Then moving to May 31st, it was 1,536 new cases were recorded on that day. So you can see here the huge jump 1 month from 269 to 1,536. And that was like a peak worldwide. And then June 30th, it was 1,557. So like it was like the same, like from 1,556 to 1,557, almost like the same. But in June, 774 new cases. Then moving to June, yes, June 19th. That's the peak of the coronavirus. Yeah. Moving to July 31st, 300 is on August 22nd. Only 89 new cases were recorded, and that's the lowest since April, where the total number of cases, that's the lowest since April. The total number we have reached like the total since the outbreak in mid-February recorded to 97,237 cases, and with 65,118 recovered cases. So out of these 97,000
that's so good.
something, 65,100 something was they were recovered already. So we can learn.
The August, the August is still around 89, right?
Sorry?
The August, the confirmed cases in August is
In
under
August,
100, right?
It's just 89 new cases, which is like that's
exactly. That's so amazing. How the government did so well. Or maybe I need to explain to the people that bagaimana Mesir melakukan banyak cara ya, mungkin cara-cara yang sedikit berbeda dengan apa yang dilakukan di Indonesia, sehingga kasus yang tadinya sangat tinggi sekali dari bulan Maret, April, kemudian puncaknya, kemudian hingga Agustus yang terkonfirmasi saat ini tinggal 89 orang dengan kasus positif. So we would like to learn a lot how the Egyptian and then how the government exactly to deal with this. Maybe also about the Egyptian, they are really concerned about the health.
About what?
The health.
The health,
right?
Of course, yes, definitely. And I'll tell you something, Putri, like, although like the recorded cases are only 89 and everyone can see like the huge drop in the curve of decline, everyone now is so optimistic, is feeling like very positive, and that's what we actually should do. But despite the drop in the numbers recorded, Egypt's Ministry of Health and Population, they announced earlier, like 10 or 12 days ago, they announced that the 21 coronavirus isolation hospitals that have been shut, like they have been closed because there was like, like they said this is because we need to open these hospitals to cure or to like serve patients with coronavirus, but with mild to severe symptoms. So although the decline in the numbers, still the hospitals reopened, and as people and authorities worldwide also have warned that a second wave had already begun globally. So many tweets and social media posts have been talking and have been like posting and asking everyone to take the necessary like precautions and preventive measures against the virus, with concerns over a potential second wave like globally and maybe in Egypt. But that's just because to always remind people that it's still not over, and like we have to stay positive, we have to stay optimistic, but we have to take all the preventive measures, we have to take all the precautions.
Exactly, indeed. But how about the activity? We know that maybe happiness is half of medicine, right, for our body. Happiness, think positive, optimistic, but as you mentioned before, but we need to also concern about the prevention, right? But how about the activities in your country? How the people doing work or study or anything stuff? Because we knew that during the coronavirus, maybe your government have a special treatment or policy on that.
True. So let me tell you that now life is turning back to normal, like gradually. But if we want to go back to the policies and preventive measures that were taken by the government, briefly, I can talk about how the government dealt with coronavirus like as early as possible, so they can curb the outbreak of the virus. So I want to talk about the like curfews, lockdowns, how they like applied these kind of policies. So the first curfew enforced in Egypt came into effect on March 25th. So it was a nighttime curfew from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it was like they started with 2 weeks.
Okay.
They started with 2 weeks, and during curfew hours, all public and private transportation were stopped. Shops and malls were only allowed to be open from 6 a.m. until 5 p.m. From Sunday to Thursday, it was closed. And anyone who violated the curfew was faced with a 4,000 Egyptian pounds fine or a possible imprisonment. So everyone was already abiding like by the rules, but just in case there was like, it was a clear like regulation, clear policies that everyone has to abide with to help the government to fight against the virus. So on the other hand, grocery stores, bakeries, pharmacies, they were exempt from the restricted hours, and they remained open, but during the restricted hours, they could only deliver the products. All cafes, casinos, sports events, and other entertainment facilities, they remained completely closed. So when they started the curfew, it was really strict for everyone and all over the country. So the government also made the following announcements: the suspension of incoming commercial passenger flights to Egypt, the closure of public schools and universities, and all non-health like organizations, they were.
Okay, that's a good point. Let me tell to the people here that bagaimana Mesir mencoba seketat mungkin dan juga menjaga keadaan agar tetap aman gitu. Pemerintah Mesir memiliki cara tersendiri, yaitu di mana mereka membagi waktu yang masyarakat harus tetap stay at home, dan juga bagaimana mereka tetap beraktivitas, tetapi seperti makanan ataupun hal-hal yang lainnya juga mereka bisa melakukan dengan delivery. Selain itu juga ada rumah sakit yang membuka kembali pelayanan untuk lebih concern.
Dalam rangka penyaluran bantuan sosial tunai (BST), Menteri Sosial Juliari Peter Batubara Rabu, 9 Agustus 2020 menghadiri penyaluran BST di Kabupaten Kulon Progo. Kunjungan diawali di Kompleks Pemerintahan Kabupaten Kulon Progo. Dalam kunjungannya tersebut, Mensos turut menyaksikan simulasi kesiapsiagaan oleh tim kawasan siaga bencana dan meninjau gelar peralatan dan kelengkapan penanggulangan bencana. Sebagai upaya meningkatkan mitigasi bencana berbasis komunitas, dalam kesempatan tersebut, Mensos mengaktifasi Kampung Siaga Bencana (KSB) di Kulon Progo. Program KSB oleh Kemensos telah dicanangkan sejak 2014. Hingga tahun ini, pencanangannya sudah menjangkau 741 KSB di seluruh Indonesia. Mensos dalam kunjungannya juga menyempatkan diri untuk menjumpai dan berkomunikasi langsung dengan kelompok ibu-ibu keluarga penerima manfaat PKH di Kelurahan Wates, Kulon Progo. Kunjungan dilanjutkan dengan menyaksikan secara langsung penyaluran BST yang berlangsung di kantor Pos Wates. Usai melakukan peninjauan penyaluran BST di kantor Pos Wates, Mensos melanjutkan peninjauan penyaluran BST di Balai Kelurahan Bojong, Kecamatan Panjatan, Kulon Progo. Sebelum memasuki ruangan untuk menyerahkan secara langsung bantuan tersebut, Menteri Sosial menyempatkan diri mengunjungi warga yang telah mengantri untuk mengambil bantuan. Mensos juga mendatangi para pelaku UMKM, di mana selain mendapatkan bantuan sosial tunai, mereka juga mendapatkan bantuan berupa sembako.
Ini untuk rakyat. Kita berikan bantuan untuk rakyat karena situasi pandemi ini pasti memukul ekonomi. Yang biasanya ada kerjaan sekarang tidak ada kerjaan. Yang biasanya jualan satu hari bisa untung, sekarang belum tentu satu bulan dapat untung. Oleh karena itu negara harus hadir di tengah-tengah kesulitan rakyatnya. Dan ini adalah kita lihat tadi teman-teman sosial ini konkret. Ya, kita lihat ini semua tidak ada yang tidak tepat sasaran. Kita bisa lihat satu persatu, baik yang dapat BST, tadi dapat BPNT, KPM BPNT, program sembako ya. Tadi pagi kalau kita lihat ya, BST di mana? Di kantor pos. Tadi juga kita meninjau langsung sesi P2K2 kita. Semua bisa kami pastikan tepat sasaran.
Pemerintah melalui Kementerian Sosial menyalurkan BST kepada 9 juta KPM untuk mengurangi dampak pandemi COVID-19. Selain meningkatkan daya beli, BST juga diharapkan menjadi pengungkit ekonomi. Pada penyaluran BST gelombang pertama, KPM diberi bantuan tunai sebesar Rp600.000 per bulan selama 3 bulan. Dan untuk gelombang kedua, besaran BST sebesar Rp300.000 per bulan selama 6 bulan, mulai bulan Juli hingga bulan Desember. Selain bantuan sosial tunai, disalurkan pula bantuan pangan non-tunai BPNT berwujud sembako. Untuk program sembako, BPNT di DIY diberikan kepada 370.343 KPM tersebar di 5 kabupaten kota. Adapun di Kabupaten Kulon Progo, penerima program sembako sejumlah 48.430 KPM senilai 9.686.000.000 per bulan. Adapun per keluarga menerima bantuan senilai Rp200.000 per bulan. Hingga saat ini, BST telah disalurkan PT Pos Indonesia kepada 8,3 juta KPM di 33 provinsi di seluruh Indonesia. Selebihnya disalurkan melalui Himbara sejumlah 700.000 KPM.
Penerima BST, jadi ada dua hal. Bansos sembako reguler itu sekitar 43.000 KPM, kemudian bansos sembako perluasan sekitar 9.000 KPM ini karena dampak COVID perluasan ini. Kemudian bantuan sosial tunai Kemensos melalui PT Pos itu 20.000 KPM. Kemudian yang bansos APBD sekitar ada 3 tahap sekitar 11.000 KPM.
Saya merasa terima kasih sekali, terbantu sekali dengan adanya BST ini karena bisa menambah pemasukan, terus perekonomian juga lumayan terbantu lah gitu.
Ya pemirsa, Anda kembali bersama kami di Bangga Magelang, ruang rebuknya Wong Magelang. Tapi kali ini spesial with Nurhan, and we going to talk more about how Egypt deal with the coronavirus. Dan pemirsa, saya juga mengingatkan sekali lagi bagi Anda yang belum mendownload GPM Stream, segera download GPM Stream di Google Play Store di HP saya. She's an active woman, beautiful lady. I'm so happy to have you here today.
I'm so happy, so excited, and my favorite people, my favorite ever people I'm talking to. That's a great pleasure. That's a great honor. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. So we're going to continue talking about how amazing Egypt's government and also
the regulations by time. On July 1st, the commercial flights came back into effect back to Egypt, and we received tourists. But there is a very important news I want to share with you.
What is
which is
that?
yeah,
Okay.
it's about the PCR testing requirement for foreign visitors. So although the tourist is back, but the Egyptian Civil Aviation Ministry announced that starting August 15th, and especially it will be like very strict starting like beginning of September, foreign visitors must have a negative PCR test, which will be like at most 72 hours before arriving to Egypt. So that's for both Egyptian citizens and tourists traveling.
Tourists, okay.
Both,
For
but
both, for anyone.
for anyone, Egyptian citizens and tourists. But the exemption is if those like Egyptian citizens or tourists traveling to coastal tourist governments like the Red Sea, places,
Exactly,
also
exactly.
the
To ask about how does it affect the tourism industry. As we know, everyone knows how tourism in Egypt, right? Me, I think that's on the top list as well. You want to come to Indonesia again, and then I want to come to Egypt.
yes,
Let's
so
continue.
so tourism, it's a huge portion of the Egyptian
Exactly.
economy. And during the like hard days of the virus, everything was totally stopped. But then when tourism came back, like started again since the beginning of July, so Egypt has received tourists from like countries like Ukraine, Belarus, Switzerland,
Okay,
Hungary,
okay,
Serbia, Macedonia, some Arab countries.
okay.
The number, like since the beginning of July, more than 85,000 tourists have entered Egypt, and
Seriously.
there are no coronavirus like recorded cases at all, like in
That's
all
that's amazing.
85,000
How your
tourists.
government did that?
So that's the thing. Like it's, as I mentioned, we are all together in this boat. So
True,
it should
true,
be
true.
people with the government. So the government is like putting the policies, the regulations, preventive measures, precautions all the time, and the tourism sector is very, very careful with dealing like with tourists in the resorts, and they are taking all the preventive measures. And you can see the movie, the short video. It's same great feelings. This is a campaign by the Ministry of Tourism.
Yeah, the video that you sent me, right? Yeah,
Right.
we are editing that video now. When you're talking, then the people can see the video outside.
Perfect, perfect. So the video is same great feelings, and it's a campaign by the Egyptian Ministry. Positive reactions from people like from around the world.
That's so great. That's
Rates of views on different like social media platforms and different countries, with a 60% increase in the rate of choosing Egypt as like people's next touristic destination. So like it's
happy to hear that. Like it that's the optimistic, that's the positive things. When the others country exactly when the others country can do that so well, I mean they're doing perfectly. Even in tourism, we know that's a difficult thing to organize, right? When the people come, the tourists, not only the tourism industry. So we need that's an important point that we learned. And then you want to continue or adding some information about the coronavirus things and Egypt. No? The last one maybe. I think there is a connection problem.
There is a connection problem, yes, but
What happened, Noor?
it's the electricity is cut.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry for this. Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
okay,
just
it's
get
okay.
in the light. The moment.
Take your time. Take your time. But I'm so happy to. Oh, I
Yeah,
can
that's
see the
opportunity
outside.
to
That's so
share.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your house? Oh,
Yes.
I want to come to your home. When? Please
Welcome,
invite me.
welcome Putri, and welcome to all like beautiful people of Indonesia. Like my home is your home. Everyone.
Oh, thank
Everyone.
you
I
so
can share my
much.
contact like my
That's
home.
so beautiful. You know.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. So now I can see the outside, how the outside now, right? Oh, that's so beautiful. We like a room tour, right?
Sorry?
So room tour.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
are
yeah.
touring on your home, on your house.
That's the
So
tour. That's
is this in the backyard?
this is the garden.
Okay,
That's here the garden.
pretty.
Yeah. That's the house.
Okay, like something distracting me because of the beautiful environment there. So
Yeah.
let's continue, but
Yeah.
maybe we can continue about the red line of coronavirus in Egyptian, and then we can move to another beautiful topics.
Sure. Sure, sure, sure. So I wanted to end like my conclusion about the coronavirus globally and in Egypt, that there is always hope. There is always hope. We have to stay positive. We have to stay optimistic, and we have to care very much for our emotional and mental health. At these difficult times, we have to learn more about ourselves. We have to learn more about like our families, what we want to do in life. And it's a very great time to reflect on our lives, to reflect on our like ambitions, on our dreams, on where we are going in life. That's very, very, very important. And maybe the whole world has slowed down for a reason, but we have to like slow down, be patient, be positive, and think in a more positive way for our future, for our present, for our families, and for the next generations.
Adding some times to discussing about the how main point and good point to talk about.
True, true, true. So regarding
Yeah.
modernization, I wanted to share with you, like, because there are like many news, but I want to share about like three important sectors. So the first sector is the constructions. The like the new cities that are being built. So there is the new administrative capital of Egypt. That's going to be like a new capital of Egypt. So like all the governmental like buildings and employees are moving to this capital. It's going to be huge. It's going to be like, this is a mega project with like skyscrapers, with like all the services, all the governmental services that were in the original capital are being moved to this new administrative capital. So that's one project that has started, and it's still going on. It's like a lot of like the first stage, the first phase has already been completed. The second project is so here coast of Alexandria. Yes, this is the north coast of Alexandria. The second project is
Can't wait to go there soon.
please come, please come. You're very welcome. So the second project I want to talk about is the new Alamein city that's going to be in the North Coast, and mega project. It's still the same idea of capital is going to be new Al Alamein city, and this is going to also have like all the services like in all the sectors, and it is believed that this city will not only be like a touristic one or just one for summer vacations, but it will be like all year long, to have people all year long. It is believed it's gonna have 3 million or more than 3 million like inhabitants in that city. So already these projects, like the costs and like the economic contribution of these projects are
True.
it is huge.
How about the coronavirus affect the project? Is that a problem that
Like this time is, although it's a difficult time, although like everyone was like, it was totally unpredictable, but the government was so optimistic, positive. They were working. The people of Egypt, they were working. No one has stopped. Everyone is working on the projects. Everyone is like continuing their work because like they set dates and they promised like the people with these dates. So they are like their promises are being like fulfilled. So
Okay. I'm so glad to hear that. You know, we need to be in the run of people who think positively and also optimistic people, right? Nur, for today, we have a good, conversation. Soon.
everything
Amin,
will
amin,
be like
amin.
better than ever, better than ever. Just
Amin,
just
amin,
believe in
amin.
this and it will happen. Thank you so much for hosting me today, and I wish you all
Amin,
the best.
amin, amin. Amin. Thank you so much, Nur, and for letting me know your house, your beautiful garden.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We can talk again later. Thank you so much. Itu tadi pemirsa obrolan saya bersama Nurhan, orang Mesir ya, kebetulan teman saya, dan semoga menginspirasi Anda bagaimana orang-orang Mesir tetap beroptimis dan juga berpikir positif untuk menghadapi pandemi ini karena selalu ada harapan. Jumpa kembali di episode berikutnya. Sampai jumpa. Udah kan? Saya di Mesir yang kita mengobrolkan banyak hal tentang bagaimana perkembangan dan juga